Today we're going to look at how you can use Notion AI to write all sorts of content better and more efficiently. Notion AI is a productivity suite of tools that can literally do just about anything, but we're specifically going to look at how it can help you write blogs, social media posts, email newsletters, website copy, video scripts, and manage your overall content calendar. So let's get started. So if you don't have a Notion account, you can head over to their website, and it's actually free for personal use. And you just sign up with your email or click the Get Notion Free button. And you can also sign in with your Google or Apple account. You might not have access to all of the tools, but you can access a lot of their platform for free. I'll have a link to Notion in the video description, so make sure to check that out. And before we get started, if you find this video helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps me out. Now let's get started. Now, before we start writing anything, the best way to start with Notion is to create a content calendar. This will allow you to organize all of this future content and put it on a schedule so that you create a timeline of when all of this content is going to go out. So Notion gives you a lot of free templates, and they have a number of different types of calendars that they include. We're going to start with the basic content calendar. You see here they also have a social media calendar and a blog editorial calendar, but we're going to use the basic content calendar, which will allow us to combine a bunch of different types of content into one calendar. So now that we have this content set up, our content calendar, and by the way, you can also view this calendar in different ways. Right now it's in a board layout. You can look at it as a traditional calendar if you like. You can look at it as a list. This is one of my favorite views. You can look at it as like a gallery if you want. So it's very customizable, and you can also choose what properties you want to have shown. So right here it's just showing like the name and the type, but you can also just by clicking you can show like the deadline of it, when it's due, and the status. So you can have a list that looks like this. So we're going to click outside of this content calendar and go back into My Content. So the first thing we're going to work on is we're going to create basically a folder for our blogs. So we're going to click this plus button, and you can also just click the / and select page, and we're going to call this blog post. Okay, so within My Content we've created a blog post folder, and let's start with our first post. So we're going to create a page. We're going to call it post number 1. And so we're going to start with coming up with ideas for what this post will be about. So Notion has a brainstorm function. If you click the space bar, you invoke the AI, you click brainstorm ideas, and let's brainstorm ideas on dog myths. So it gives you a number of different basically myths about dogs in this case. Maybe this is a little too specific. So let's try another one. Let's brainstorm ideas on dog psychology. I can actually spell this right. So again, it gives you basically different topics and ideas that you can then expand to write a blog. So I'm going to select this last idea from Notion and start to write a blog about it. So the first step is to write an outline for this blog. So click the space bar, and if you scroll down there is an outline option. So let's write an outline about how a dog's behavior changes as they age. And there it presents you with an outline for this blog. So next we want to have it write this outline into a blog. So we're going to again hit the space bar and scroll down until we see blog post. And we want to write a blog post about the outline above. And it starts to write. So after I've written the first draft of this blog, and I have some extra stuff in here that I don't want in this same blog post. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this outline. And I'm going to take the myths out of here and save them somewhere else because I can write more content around these different myths. So I'm going to cut them out of here, go into my blog post folder, and create a new page called Blog Ideas. And just save all those myths here for later. So go back into my post because I just want to have the information about this specific blog here. Okay, now that I have the blog in its own separate file, I want to go in here and start modifying the blog itself. So the first thing is I'd like to have more information about in some of these sections. So I'm going to go here into puppy and adolescence, for example, and I want to write more about puppy and adolescence. I hit the space bar, write more information about puppies and adolescents. And so it gives me a much longer section, and I can delete this first one. And that's how you can expand on your blog. Okay, so I've gone in here and I've expanded on these sections. However, I have H2 headers in here, but I think these sections could be organized better. So what I'll do here is I'll select this section and I'll hit these 6 dots on the left and I'll tell it to organize this section with H3 headers. And it'll go in and basically just organize this in a nicer way. And so you can do this for your entire blog. And it saves your prompts. So I just used this organize this section with H3 headers, and I'll just do that same prompt again. And it'll go through and just make it a lot nicer and more well formatted. So as you're writing, you will likely want to link some concepts within your blog to websites like Wikipedia, for example. So what you can do is you can select a keyword and you can tell it to link this keyword to a Wikipedia page. And it will find the Wikipedia page. Funnily enough, it also rewrote this section. It's not bad. I like the modification, although. So this, if you click it, it goes to the Wikipedia page for a dog. And this is a really helpful tool. Next, the next thing you'll want is you will want to have some images for your blog post. So you can click the plus button and you can add an image block. And you are connected to Unsplash. So you can find a royalty-free image right here, and you can download these directly from Notion AI. So this is a great way to organize the media content. If you have a YouTube video, you can add that as well. So you would need your YouTube link, but you could put your video link here, or if you have a video that you've recorded, you can upload it there as well. So after you finish your blog post, let's say you're working on a team, you can share this blog post and you can invite people via their email, and you can give them different levels of access. They can just view only, or they can have the ability to edit. You can also publish this to the web. So you can make this a link that people can access without having to create a Notion account, which is really helpful. Okay, so once you have your blog in a state that you basically want to get it ready on your content calendar, what you do is you go to the left side of your Notion left navigation and open your blog post folder and open the content calendar, and you can drag the post that's ready into your calendar. And then if you click into the calendar, you'll see here's this post that we want to schedule. If you're using one of their pre-made calendars versus like a blank one, you can just delete all the stuff that's already in there so that it's only showing your stuff. So now we see, okay, here is my blog post, and then I can start assigning it if I need to assign it to other people. I can say that the status is in progress. I can put a link in here if I'm going to publish it on a content management system like WordPress. I'm going to designate this as a blog post. And if you have images or media that you have from other places, you can upload them here as well, so you can have everything in one place. You can also put an embed link, and then you can give yourself a deadline. And so now you have everything that you need for this blog in one place, and it's already on your content calendar. So next we're going to create some social media content. So we're going to create a new folder for social media. And within this, you could create one, for example, Instagram. You can create another one for Facebook. And then another one for LinkedIn. Whatever your social media platforms that you're using. So we're going to go into Instagram, and we want to create a number, let's say a week's worth of Instagram posts based on how dogs age. So we click in here and we click the space bar. There's a social media prompt. So we could say we want to write 7 Instagram social media posts about how dogs age. And it's giving us the content for our social media post, and it's giving us like hashtags. So this is great. So the next thing you can do is, so this is 7 days worth of social media posts. So what I would do is put each one of these in a separate, its own separate page within this folder. So we're going to click here, and we're going to say day number 1, this post. And within this, if we need to find media, we can use the media block again. It's also connected to Giphy. So if we wanted to have something like a little more interactive, we can drop in a Giphy image here. So we could say day number 1, how dogs age. And then we go back into our Instagram, and then we click, we select the second one. Oops. And we do another page, day number 2, how dogs age. And we get another media block. And let's just use a regular image for this one, etc. And so you do that process until you have all of these posts into their own separate days. So after you've created your social media post, you can then drop them into your content calendar. So you select the ones that are ready, just drop them into your content calendar, and then click back on your content calendar, and you'll see them here, and you can go in here and you can add more information. So you can assign them to whoever you need to assign them to. The status is in progress. You can give it a deadline, and you can type, this is an Instagram post. So this is great. It allows you to stay really organized, and you know exactly when your content is scheduled to go out and what type of content. Next, we're going to use Notion AI to write some newsletters for us. So we're going to create a section for newsletters. And we're going to, let's say, week of August the 21st. Actually, let's make this into its own section. And we're going to invoke the AI and tell it to write, in addition, a newsletter edition about how dogs age. And it writes the content that we need for the newsletter. And again, you can find some media that you want to include. So we'll go back here again. Cute picture of a dog. And basically this is what everything that we need for the newsletter. You would also add, links to your website or social media handles, things like that. So now that that newsletter is complete, you go back over into your newsletter section, and we're going to drag this newsletter into our content calendar. Click on the content calendar, and we see week of August 21st. We're going to go in here and we're going to basically actually need to create a new, let's change this into newsletter, and give ourselves a deadline. And now we have, so far we have our blog post, we have 2 Instagram posts, and we have our newsletter all created. The next thing we're going to do is create video scripts. So we're going to go back into My Content, and we're going to click New Page for video scripts, and we're going to create a page for a video script about how dogs age. So now we're going to start writing our script for how dogs age. So we're just going to tell it to write a, let's say, a 4-minute video script for a YouTube video. So it writes your script for you, and you can go in here and have it, expand on different sections if you want, but it basically sets the framework for your script and giving you timestamps, and so this is all really helpful. So now that we have this script done, we're going to drop this into our content calendar as well, and we'll go up here and we'll say this is a video, and our deadline is, whatever the deadline is, and the status is, maybe this one, we can change these to say, maybe we're going to say in production, since it's a video. So now we have video, newsletter, Instagram, social media posts, blog posts. So now we've looked at how we can use Notion to write everything from blog posts, social media, newsletter, and video scripts, and use their content calendar to keep everything nicely organized so that you know what you're doing and when you're doing it. So hopefully this video has been helpful. Again, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And tune back in for more Notion AI tutorials. Thanks.